Okay, good. That way we can make sure to have this call recorded properly. Okay, so just a few updates from Calvet. Once again, this is the month of March. Women's Military History Week is the third week of March. We did request GORS, which is the basically we requested a proclamation from Governor Jerry Brown, and hope to see physical proclamations as well as an announcement from their website issued sometime in hopefully, if not this week, then early next week. We usually ask that we get the proclamations with enough time to be able to get them out to everybody, either electronically or in paper copies. But it really depends on what the governor's office has going on, how quickly we receive them. So if we receive the proclamations and you all have asked for one, or if you can contact us, then we'll be happy to try and provide one. We get about 30 paper proclamations that we like to give out, so we have quite a few. And then there's also electronic copies that we can scan to you. So if you've got an event coming up, you'd like a copy, we'd be happy to provide it. Just contact us. So you can contact our email, womenveterans@calvet.ca.gov, to get the proclamations. They're really lovely. They come with a nice, the actual paper ones come with a nice seal and really nice wording from the governor about honoring women in the military. And so this year in Sacramento, we're going to be doing a March reception in honor of Women's Military History Week. We do this every March. This year the reception will be March 18th, which is a Wednesday, from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. In previous years, we had done this at the State Library. Well, we're changing the location this year, and we'll be doing this at the Leland Stanford Mansion, which is on 800 N Street here in Sacramento. We're excited about that because this is a new venue. The mansion is absolutely beautiful, really great piece of California history, and can also accommodate more people than in the past. So we're hoping to get about 150 attendees. And so up on our webinar software right now on our computer, I'm sharing the Save the Date image with you all. If you're part of our listserv, you should have received our press advisory and a Save the Date image. And then you can also find information about the reception on our website. So calvet.ca.gov/womenvet. You can find information about our reception, and then you can also register for the reception to attend. This is free and open to the public. We welcome anyone to go. We just ask that you register so we get a good head count of how many people to expect. And so as every year, we'll be awarding 2 women with our Calvet Trailblazer Award. These are 2 outstanding women that have dedicated their time and service to women in the military, who have broken glass ceilings in their own military service or in the veterans community, and we're celebrating their accomplishments. So again, reminder, please mute your phones, folks. I can hear some feedback. I need you guys to mute your phones, if you don't mind. Thank you. And then, so we're excited about this reception, but I have to say there's so many things going on throughout the state. I'll be working pretty much every Saturday in the month of March because there's so many events going on. I think there's probably 10 events off the top of my head that I can think of happening this month all throughout the state. And so we're going to be sure to share those events. We've shared some via our email listserv, and we'll continue to share some on our public calendar, and then through a couple other public calendars that you all can have access to, so that everyone can see all the great events going on this month and hopefully attend something in your area. And so, you know, we talk about why it's so important for us to do this and to honor women, not just recognize that women who serve have needs and challenges and that we need to meet those needs and challenges, but also approach this from a really positive standpoint. I think the first thing in the research that we've done and women that we've surveyed in California and nationally, the first thing they've said is that they want to be recognized for their service. We as women vets just want to be recognized for our service first and foremost. You know, we have housing needs, we have healthcare needs, employment needs, gender needs. First and foremost, we just want to be thanked for our service because we're so often not the stereotypical image of a veteran. We don't wear the ball caps that say Korean World War II veteran. We often don't wear the veteran service organization cap. We're not carrying a rucksack around with us most of the time. So we really need to be recognized just for the fact that we could have served in the military, even if we don't look like the stereotypical veteran. And so what's really nice is that, when we put out these proclamations from the governor and when we discuss, all these different events going on throughout the state, at each event there's great turnout, speeches. You guys mute your phones. All right, I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody. We'll kind of help with our a little bit. And so what we really remember is that, women have always served in the military, served since the Revolution, and that's really significant because I don't think it's a detail that a lot of us think about. So I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody for now, and then when Therese gets on the call with us, then I'll go ahead and unmute everybody so that she can give her presentation.
I am on.
Hi, Therese. You said you're here. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
That's okay. I'm on the line. Yes.
Wonderful. Welcome. Well, I'll go through a couple more things for us, and then I'll introduce you and have you get started. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay.
Should I mute my phone again?
Sure. I'll just have you mute for now, and then we'll unmute you.
Okay. Perfect.
So a couple things that calvet's doing over not just the month of March, but also for the rest of the year for 2015. We are looking to help the Dress Code Project and support the Dress Code Project. This was the project that we launched with some folks last year during our women's conference, and we were able to get donations for professional women's clothing from all over the state and had a really great turnout and a whole closet built out for women who were able to get free working wardrobe attire along with makeover tips and accessories and professional photos taken at the conference. Well, we'd like to continue the project. We are looking for different organizations to host this project so that we can bring the dress code to a city and town near you. So if you have interest in this, please contact us so that we can discuss how to get the dress code to you. We still have a lot of clothes left over from what we did last year, and then we plan to do another couple drives as well to get more clothes, and so we really want to continue to organize a couple projects. Right now, with the organizers, we're looking to at least do one more here in Sacramento, maybe in the fall, but we'd also like to look at doing something in the Bay Area and possibly down in Southern California if we can. So if you are interested in this project, please contact us. It's womenveterans at calvet.ca.gov. Other things we'll be working on for 2015, we're continuing to work on our advocacy role here at Calvet. So for military sexual trauma, we're really focusing on education to train county veteran service officers and to train rape crisis centers in their cultural competency, working with survivors of military sexual trauma, giving them educational items and resources so they know where to refer people to. They understand what's offered at the Veterans Healthcare Administration for services and programs for veterans, etc. And I'll also be serving on the National Sexual Assault Conference. The national conference is taking place in LA in September, and this will probably be a conference of about 1,400 people, and we do have specific workshops focused just on sexual assault in the military. And if any of you are interested in learning more about the conference, if you go to CalCASA, that's CALCASA.org, you can learn more information about the 2015 conference. In the area of housing, we're continuing to look at the Proposition 41, now termed the Veterans Homeless and Housing Prevention Act, and how we can make sure that women are well represented in the development projects that go forward to serve the the needs of housing veterans. So far, we've gotten some good news. It looks like projects will be able to actually house women and women only. This was looking like it was going to be an issue with fair housing, but HCD, the Housing and Community Development Authority, has made some strides in this area, worked out some things, and we think we'll be able to see projects specific just for women and children, and it won't violate fair housing. So that's very exciting, and that's been a reflection of the work that our team has done and the Calvet team and HCD for a couple months now. Additionally, around healthcare, we are partnering with VA Northern California Healthcare System to do a needs assessment project for women living in rural areas. So we'll be sending out a survey for women shortly, probably this week, if not next week, and we'll be working to make recommendations to VA Northern California Healthcare System about how to improve services to all women who go into those clinics in that hospital at Mather. So we'll have more to report out about that project. Its final wrap-up will be September of this year. So as we go forward, we'll be kind of reporting out more about how the project's going and what recommendations we are making. And then we're also focusing a lot on outreach. Currently, we are running a social media survey. We are learning about where people are getting their news from, what social media platforms they're using, and what content they'd like to see us deliver via the internet, from our website, etc. We've had a really good response rate for this survey. We've run this for 3 weeks now, and we've had over 240 participants. So that's been really promising. We've gotten a lot of good data. So what we'll be doing is updating our internet content and updating the different platforms for social media that we used based on what we learned from the survey. We'll be attending a lot of events in 2015. I was mentioning earlier, my dance card's really full for March already. And then Julene, our analyst with the program, will be going out and traveling and attending some events as well on our behalf. So it'll be a busy year. So if you have events that you'd like us to attend or areas where you think we need to do some outreach, then please connect with us and let us know as early as possible. And then our toolkit that we launched last November, we're continuing to work with organizations on the toolkit. I briefed the 23 CSU campuses recently about the toolkit, and then we'll be working with the UC system, the 12 campuses there, and the community college system as well, so that they have that as a resource to serve women veterans on their campuses. And then we're also delivering that toolkit to other organizations and presenting on it as appropriate. So if you are looking for a copy of the toolkit, you can download that via PDF from our website at calvet.ca.gov /women veterans, or /women vets. Really, if you just go to our homepage, you can look up women vets, and the whole page will come up, and you can find the toolkit. And we do have some paper copies. If you really need one, we can send one out to you. We are limiting how many we mail to people, but we can probably get you one if you've got an organization that really needs it. So with that, that's all I really have for updates. Since Teresa is on the call, I'll go ahead and instead of taking questions from you all now, we're going to go ahead and get started with her presentation, and then we'll do Q&A for both she and I at the end of this presentation. So thank you very much for being on the call and being patient with us. So Teresa, I'm going to go ahead and have you unmute your phone. If you can press *6 to unmute your phone, that should work. And that'll keep everybody else muted in the meantime. I don't know if that's going to work. If not, then I can just unmute everybody. All right, let me try and unmute everybody, and hopefully we can get Teresa on the call again.
Okay, I'm back on.
You're back on? Okay.
I'm back.
And then for everybody else, can you guys make sure to mute your phone so there's no background noise? And Teresa, are you in a fairly quiet space?
I'm in a very quiet space.
Okay, good. Okay, perfect. It sounds like that works well. Okay, so Teresa, thanks so much for being on our call today. We do a monthly statewide phone call, as I explained to you when I contacted you about coming on today. So we have about 20 people on the call today, and they are excited to learn about your project, which is Women in the Military, World War II to Present. We'd love for you to tell us more about what you do as a photojournalist, how you got involved in this project or how you started this project, what your inspiration was, and how we can help you in making this successful and get even more women to work with you. So please.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak with you. So in August 2011, I had an idea, and my idea was based on the fact that, one, both my parents served in the military. My father was an officer in the Navy. My mother was an officer in the Navy. My mother never spoke about her service, and she died when I was in my 20s. I'm midlife now, so, actually I'm in my 60s, almost 40 years have passed, and I never, in your 20s, I didn't ask why she served and what it meant to her. So I've done policy analysis for healthcare and underserved communities in 3 different capacities, and in each of those capacities, I met women veterans who had different needs. The last capacity was in a district office for a member of Congress from California, and I had met I was in charge of women's health and women's issues, and I met a number of women veterans. And across all my, the 3 jobs that I had held, the women said, nobody believes I've served. Nobody believes my job was my job, and really nobody's honored us. The day that I came up with the idea was a particularly tough day, meeting, listening to the needs of the women that came in to meet with me that were requesting help from this member of Congress. And so, it kind of came together. My mother, I didn't know why she served, and these women having issues that should never be issues. And so because I have worked with underserved populations, it kind of clicked in, and I wondered if I could do anything as a civilian to join hands with business and government and nonprofits to raise awareness on women who serve in defense of our country. So I started out, I took 6 months. I left my job. I took 6 months and created a business plan, and then I knew nobody in the military, really, and I knew nobody in the photography world. I'd done a lot of interviews in my capacity as an analyst. I've sat on a congressional health care committee and traveled the nation listening to how people wanted health care delivered. So, I had those skills just in my background. So in March 2011, I was advised to get approval from the Department of Defense and the 5 branches of the military, which I did. And on March 1, I started interviewing, and as of today, I've interviewed almost 800 women who have served from World War II to present. They are across all 5 branches. They are active duty, separated, and retired. And it actually has been one of the best things I've done in my life. I believe women's stories need to be told, and I believe that the world needs to be aware that as women, while we may not always be on the forefront, that our work helps support the forefront, and that there are women in the forefront as well. So my goal of the project initially was to have 5, one for each of the branches. So whoever's interviewed would be in the book of the branch they served in. And that was the extent of the goal. Last March, Brigadier General Vaught at the Women's Memorial asked me to put together a photography exhibit of 90 women. And so I agreed to do it, and I put together 90 women, equal officer, equal enlisted, equal in each branch, and was able to, hold on, and was able to, as a result, it opened on November 7, 2014 for Veterans Day at the Women's Memorial at Arlington National Cemetery. So where am I today? The goal that I set was to interview 1,200 women, and the reason that I chose 1,200 is my policy background. 1,200, 1,000 is a good group, and in such a small group of 20% of 1%, it's a real solid group, and I wanted to see if there were things that, were similar blighted women choose to serve and the impetus of it. I also have been approved and vetted on a leadership mentor questionnaire that all participants answer. And the reason for that was because I'm a mentor, and I've mentored about close to 60 young women, and I never recommended any of them go in the military. And it's interesting in hindsight because I realized that my mother, never talking of her service, didn't put it in my face, so to speak. And it just didn't occur to me that women could go into the military, get education in the military that could help direct them toward careers outside. So that is the other part of the program. The women, West Point I'm talking with West Point about the Leadership Mentor Questionnaire, and that is being done on a blind study, which means that people will be ranked by rank, but they will not have any rank and rate, but they won't have any name associated with it, just to collect the data. So that's where I am. I'm currently working to get a book published this year, which would be composed of the the photography exhibit, and then all the World War II veterans that I've interviewed. And the reason for that is obviously our World War II veterans are fading, and it has just been very touching to me and humbling that these women went out there and did these things for the military that other women didn't do. And it's clear there's, leadership qualities. It's clear there's a call to a bigger service and, a protection of our freedoms. So that's part of my goal for this year. So I guess I should tell you that General Vaught has asked me for a second exhibit, and that exhibit would be for March 2016 at Arlington. The current exhibit is at Arlington through September 30th at the Women's Memorial, and I just opened talks last week with the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library on the potential to hold it here at the Presidential Library in Simi Valley when it's done, when it's completed in Washington, D.C. That's only in the first stages. I've had other states. I've had the state of Wisconsin, Virginia, Oregon, and Massachusetts ask for the exhibit already, and I haven't done anything towards that because if I don't get things in writing, I just wait until I do get things in writing. So that's basically what I've done and what I'm doing. I would like to see the project closed up and with books for sale by the end of 2016, the start of 2017. And that's very ambitious, I know, but I have, just a little over 400 women left to interview to meet the 1,200 goal, and I feel that it's possible. I go places when I have 25 women that I can interview, a minimum of 25 women. The interviews are 40 minutes, and then I take photographs. I do ask that the forms are filled out prior to me sitting down and taking interviews, because if I don't, I never get the forms back from the people, from the individuals. And then the other thing is that since this project is something I dreamed of and I wanted to see if it could become a reality, it's been on my own dime. so I am currently looking for funding, help of any sort to move the project forward. So that's where I'm at. So I can take questions.
Therese, this is Lindsay. I'd like to ask you a few questions as well, and then talk to the group about a couple things. I love this project. I met you in early 2012, and I hadn't been on this job long when we hosted the conference here in Sacramento for the National Association of State Women Veteran Coordinators. And you were
Yes.
already working on this well into it, and your photographs are beautiful. The stories that you have actually captured of these women, their experiences. So I wanted to ask you, your first question in starting this project overall was, why did women serve, or why would they join the military? Like, what was their reasoning for doing so? Did you learn anything from that? Did you find out like some overarching patterns of why women choose to serve in the military?
Well, I think there's definitely patterns, and there's women choose to serve. Some women knew early in life that they were going in the military. That doesn't surprise me. My husband knew at 7 years old he wanted to be an attorney, and he loves it, and he's still an attorney. So I take that as there are few people in the world that know what they want early in life. Some women join to get out of town, some join to travel, most join to get a skill that they could use later in life. Some join for education. All, I believe, join based on the tenor of the interviews because they wanted to serve a larger cause. And they believed in the need to protect our personal freedoms, and so they joined because of that.
I think that's so awesome. I think that's just so poignant because that's what we say over and over again about women who have served. Men who have served have done it for so many similar reasons, especially a sense of patriotism and a call to service. But many, many men were drafted. Women were never drafted. They joined just out of their own need to be a part of the cause and to contribute, which I just find so amazing and courageous.
Well, I have to tell you, that just excites me so much because it's true. The women have all volunteered. They have all volunteered, and it's like, yes, look at this. So it's pretty phenomenal to me, and the fact that that's not, almost the number one thing out there about women in the military kind of astonishes me because, you're right, men were drafted for years and decades, and women who stepped up to the plate to serve did it out of a call to service, a call to defend, and they volunteered.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think it really just highlights just incredible women because it's also against incredible odds.
Yes.
We know as women that serve that it's not always an environment that's receptive to that. It's not always a place where people want us, and yet women do it anyway. So that's
yes.
great.
Yes.
A couple other questions. Getting a permanent exhibit at the Reagan Library in Simi Valley would be an incredible thing for the state of California. So I'd really like to issue a call to action to all of our callers. Let's help Therese do that. Let's support you in getting this permanent exhibit here. So let us know what we need to do to help you. Do you need a letter writing campaign? Do you need people to meet with folks at the library? Does this need to be something the state government can help with? Is there legislation that needs to be introduced for this? We'd love to help you get that here because I think that's a wonderful
Okay, well, I would like to tell you what the discussions in the last week were, in our meeting were, and it kind of appalled me, to be honest. They want a 2-week exhibit. And I was like, excuse me?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, did you say 2 weeks? And they said, yes, well, we have a busy calendar. Well, I'm still taking breaths from that. I recognize the Women's Memorial is being very generous by having it there from November through September, November to October. It's 11 months. And I understand that. So I didn't anticipate that they would give it a long time. However, it should be longer than 2 weeks. I'm sorry. They have cars there that are longer in the exhibits longer than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Cars. I mean, yes, they're Harry Truman's car. Yes, they're Eva Peron's car. Yes, they're Saddam Hussein's car. But give me a break. They're cars.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So I would like to figure out what exactly I need, what they're looking for. They want to show it in a place. Okay, so here's my ask. My ask is that pictures be hung on walls. They want to put it on an exhibit underneath Air Force One. And if any of you have been to the Reagan Library, Air Force One is part of the foundation. And so it would be right up against the glass windows, which can damage the photos. I don't want that. It can damage the stickers that go with the photos. I don't want that, because that just puts extra cost to me. And the whole exhibit, of which is 90 photographs, 110 women, with stickers that go to each one that has this military service for each member, their years, what their rate was, and then a quote from them. The entire exhibit over there costs $28,000. I do not want to duplicate the same exhibit because they want to put it in the sun. So I kind of think that it's an issue of education. One of the women that works there, works for the Library of Congress, and she's in the National Guard, so she understands what we're trying to do.
Right.
So I'll have to figure out letters. I don't know exactly what, but I would be delighted to get back with you and get all the help I can, because this is important. And in the exhibit, there's 29 women from California. It's almost half are active duty and half are residents, permanent residents.
Well, that's one thing that we would love to help with, and I think the callers on this call would love to be able to see that here and hopefully brainstorm where it should go. If not the Reagan Library, then maybe elsewhere. Otherwise,
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear what you said. I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem. Okay, folks, remember to mute your phones. We still have a little bit of reverberation going on. For sure, if it's not the Reagan Library, maybe we go somewhere else. And then if it is the Reagan Library, we work with you to make sure that it's the right exhibit in the right place.
Okay.
But it's a really important thing. Now, additionally, you're still looking for 400 more women to participate in this project? Okay.
Yes.
And that's our other call to action. We need more women, particularly if we can get a room full of 25 or more. Now, there's a lot of stuff going on down in L.A. And in the Southern California area in the coming weeks. So hopefully, if you have it in your calendar, you can make some of those events to photograph women. And so if anyone has any recommendations for Therese or wants to connect her with a group of women, then I would ask that you contact her directly. So, Therese, I don't know if you want to share an email that you have where people can get a hold of you.
All right.
That would be great.
Yes. So my email is TAHUGHES5639@gmail.com. And the thing is, I don't want just photographs. I want to interview as well. And the interviews are about 40 minutes. and that includes the interview and the photograph. Sometimes it goes into an hour. So, it's just something to make note of.
Okay. And then, do you have a website currently? I've noticed there's a Facebook page.
Yes. No. I'm trying to raise money so I can get a website done. I am not talented that way, so I'm just, and I'm the only person that's working on the project, so I don't have a website. That's 2015, I hope to have a website.
Okay. And now are you doing a crowdfunding or a way to raise money that we should know about, or?
Well, I just did a video, which I'm not going to, I need to show it to General Vought first, and I'm going back to D.C. tomorrow morning for the week. So I was thinking I'd put it on my Facebook page after I meet with her, because I'm trying to get some help for publishing, to get up into a publisher, as well as to, look for funding and to interview more women. So I'm thinking that I would like to do a funding mechanism, but I haven't done it yet.
Okay. And then do you have a Facebook page that's public that you can share, or any other place that we can go to see some of your work or to learn more?
So the Facebook page is the very first title that I started with. I am a U.S. veteran, military women, World War II to Afghanistan. And if you have a Facebook account and just plug that into Google, you'll go right to the account.
Okay. I have one. I am a U.S. veteran, military women, World War II to current conflicts. Is that the one?
Oh, current conflicts. That was the first one. You're right. Current conflicts. My apologies.
No problem. I'm sharing that on our webinar software right now.
Okay.
And then there's also an article I found, the Coast Guard DoD Live article. There's a link to that on our website, or on the webinar. That talks a little bit about your project.
Okay.
Great. Okay, so those are the questions that I had for you, Therese. We still have some time, so I was going to open it up to our callers, either via the chat window on our webinar or via phone. Does anyone have any more questions about Therese's project, how they can be involved or support, anything else people want to know?
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
My name is Caprice Winstead, and I'm a minister. I'm a certified life coach, and I also work for Volunteers of America for the HVRP program here in downtown Los Angeles on Skid Row. And I just want to say to Therese, one of the female veterans that you interviewed by the name of Teresa Alcazar,
Yes,
is here now in our office registering to get supportive services and to help with employment. And she just wanted me to tell you hello. It's ironic. I was on the webinar, and she came into our office because we help homeless veterans get jobs. And we're down here on Skid Row with the homeless population. And that is our population, homeless veterans. I got involved through Christine Hess because I'm a civilian, but I have such a high reverence for what veterans have done for us, especially veteran women. And I want to get more involved on the compassion side to make a bridge between the programs that have the money and the people that are working in it, to be able to put a bridge so that they can understand what our female veterans are going through. And she was sitting here and she was telling me that she was interviewed by you. So I feel special now because I have one of your interviewers that you have photographed sitting here in my office. So I want to tell you thank you.
Well, you're very welcome. She is one of the California veterans that I have in the exhibit that's at Arlington National Cemetery.
And that's what she shared with us here at our office. So once again, I just want to say thank you because we have one of your interviewees right here now that is in need of services. She's a homeless veteran, and she's in need of services, and we're going to do everything that we can to help her to get the services that she needs.
Well, thank you for doing that.
Okay. Does anybody else have comments for Therese or questions about the project? Or
Hi, Lindsay. Go ahead.
Hi, this is Christina Silva, and I wanted to tell you how impressed I am that you compiled so many interviews with women of all branches and that you are a part of the auxiliary with both of your parents. I think that is an amazing heirloom for history to preserve, that women veterans serve, and we are just as valuable as all veterans, but we are special in that we have unique stories to tell with what military service did for us. And so I was wondering if I could ask you for an interview on my show. And I would like to get your email address repeated so that I can invite you for an interview on my Women Veterans show that's coming up. It starts in April.
Okay. 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 Yeah, I just kind of feel like the project isn't about me. The project is about the women veterans. And I know that that I'm a child of two veterans, and I'll give you my address, my email address again, and we can talk about it. It's TAHUGHES5639@gmail.com.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you for your contribution.
I'm honored by your request. I just am trying to keep the forefront what the project is about, and it's about the women who serve.
Yes.
And I hope you can understand that.
Yes, hearing it from you, the world will appreciate your project. That's for sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi there, this is Stephanie Stone from LA County. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Please, I would love to reconnect with you, and one of the things that we're having in LA, as Lindsay was saying, there's going to be a number of events all around the community, but one of them will be the Women's Project, our typical monthly luncheon, and we're coordinating and collaborating with the VA and other agencies, EDD, to be a part of a larger program on the third Saturday of the month. And so maybe if we can have a conversation offline to talk about how to schedule those interviews so that people could sign up early, that would be wonderful.
Oh, I'm happy to do that. I'd love that. Thank you.
I sent you a note via Facebook on your Facebook site. I didn't get the other Facebook site. I just wanted to send it to your personal one. Is there?
Okay.
Would you repeat your email account again as well?
Yes. It's T as in Tom, A as in Apple, Hughes, HUGHES 5639@gmail.com.
Great. I'll connect with you that way.
Okay. Thanks, Stephanie.
Thank you.
great. Well, this is just great. I'm so glad that we're able to learn more about Theresa's project. I mean, it's just what you're doing, Teresa, is so important, and I appreciate it as a woman who serves. You don't realize, you don't know what you don't know, and it's pretty amazing that there is quite a lack of attention or projects like this out there focusing on women. I am here in Sacramento. Across from Capitol Park, we have several wonderful memorials dedicated to veterans. They're beautiful. And we have the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. We have El Soldado, which will be given a beautiful makeover later this year. We have the All Veterans Memorial. We have several over there. And there are, in the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, there is a tribute to Vietnam nurses. Very, very important that that's there. But overall, there's nothing really highlighting just women. And same back in D.C.
Wow.
There's the Vietnam Nurses Memorial there. That's an absolutely moving memorial and statue, like nothing I've ever seen. But so much of the focus, just by default, seems to be on the service of men over and over again. And so that's why if you haven't been back to D.C. to WMSA, the Women in Service to America Memorial that General Wilma Vaught runs, which is the person Therese has mentioned a couple times. That's such an important memorial to see, or an important museum to visit because it has rotating exhibits. I think it's much more interactive than just a statue or a memorial. But we need more of that. We need more of that attention to women and their service here in California. And so I hope that when communities are looking to do memorials or looking to do exhibits on veterans, that they're consistently incorporating the service of women because it's so important. So what you're doing, I think, is really a unique opportunity for us to do that, and will hopefully be a real highlight for women who want to participate as well.
Thank you. Could I just share? Do I have enough time to just very quickly share a couple of stories? They'll be very short. And why are they important?
Yeah.
So do I have time? Okay.
Yes.
I've interviewed two women who are 107 years old. One of them was in the, as she calls it, the Negra Battalion, 6888 in the Army during World War II. And the Army sent her and the battalion to Paris and to London. And their job was to take hotels filled with mail from floor to ceiling and get them sent around to the particular places where they were supposed to go. In France, they were given 1 year that they had to do it. They finished the job in 3 months, which is a tribute to women and their organization. The second woman is a woman who was the first female in the bomb squad, so to speak, in the Army. And she was the only female in World War II that did this sort of thing. She was in Alabama. She slept near bombs. She drove the bombs from the site in Alabama to Texas and then up to Georgia to get the bombs off to the Pacific and to Europe. She became an officer. She was sent to Berlin, and she was in Berlin during the Berlin airlift. Because men had families, they sent her as a single woman behind the enemy lines, where she worked behind the enemy lines, crossing the line back and forth numerous times during her work there. Both of these women are incredible, as I'm sure every one of you on the line would, one, recognize and understand and know, because that's what you do. Then just very quickly, there's two sisters. The older one is 97. The younger one is 95, going on 96. They were in the first group of Army nurses that landed in France 4 days after D-Day. They set up the general hospital there. They, took care of the soldiers, and they've been given the highest honor from France. They're the only women to receive this award, and it's the Knights Legion Award, and it is the highest honor and medal that anybody can get. 13 World War II veterans were given it, and these were the only two women that were given it. So I can't tell you how honored I am that I have opportunity to meet these people that are a part of history, and they're our national history, and it's just been fabulous. So, if I can listen to your stories, I would be honored, and anything you can do to help me move this project forward I would be honored as well. So thank you very much.
Oh, Therese, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the work you're doing. What beautiful, beautiful stories. Yeah, you're capturing pieces of history that are just going unspoken. So this is just such a wonderful project. We at Calvet are excited to work with you, and I hope others on the call are excited to work with you. That I hope that we can all commit to getting you the 400 interviews you need and to supporting this project to see it, exhibited more, and then hopefully have a permanent home somewhere. It's just a wonderful thing.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we have just a few minutes left on the call, folks. Does anybody else have any more questions for Therese? Does anyone have any questions for us here at Calvet? Just a few reminders again, here in Sacramento, we'll have our reception in honor of Women's Military History Week, March 18th. The third week of March is the governor's proclaimed Women's Military History Week. If you look to our website, you'll find more information, and our Facebook page, you'll find more information about events happening up and down the state for this month, and I hope that you all get a chance to attend or host or be a part of some of those outstanding events. And then for all of you on the call that are women who have served, thank you very much, or men that have served, thank you very much for your service. And we're excited about this month of March. It's just a fantastic month. Hopefully we'll have beautiful weather for all of our events. And then if you need to contact us for anything, our email is womenveterans@calvet.ca.gov. And we look forward to having you on the April phone call. Monday, April 6th will be our next call at 10 a.m. as usual. So with that, please join me in saying thank you to Therese Hughes for being on our call and for her important project. And I think we'll wrap it up.
Thank you, Therese.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.